Hey y'all, I'm Alyssa.
And I'm Alyssa.
We're your buttons babes, and this week we are going to push that bisexual button.
What are we pushing about bisexuality?
Your partners, and if you are okay with it. So, I know. Alyssa asked me, no wait, how did this happen? It doesn't matter. We came across something and got into this conversation as we normally do. And we're curious. Mama, help me out
Instagram.
here. What was it?
It was
Thank
Instagram.
you.
Okay,
like,
so it was a meme, and we'll put up in the stories again, and maybe some of you reacted to it. But basically, like, for those who identify as women, are you comfortable with your male identifying partner having also slept with men previously? Like a bisexual man, are you comfortable with your partner being a bisexual man?
Or even if you're like in an open relationship, that could be a component too. If you're poly, all of the things that, or anybody else that I'm missing.
Basically, chicks, will you sleep with someone who is a man who has also slept with or also sleeps with men?
And to me, I was like, I don't fucking care. Like, it's not any of my business. Like, but I do understand that as being that person's partner and, thinking about my health, like my thing is like, as long as everyone involved is safe and is checked, do you and what you need to do. Like, I have no qualms with it. And for some reason was perplexed at the question.
The comments on this post were, I think, something that kind of set me off because it was a lot of men replying kind of in ignorant ways and women replying in what I will consider ignorant ways, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
A lot of women were like, get the fuck out of here with that. Like, a lot of shaming for men. And
interesting.
And this, 10 years ago me would not feel as comfortable answering this as today me is because of my lack of care, understanding, not just I was a different person 10 years ago. But so part of me could understand where a lot of those comments were coming from and the place of whatever place those are coming from. Part of me could understand why some people might act that way or say that or feel that way, but it was also really discouraging because if I was a dude who was bisexual, and I saw that, I would be like, why the fuck would I be honest about my bisexuality?
Right, I keep it to myself. Which you shouldn't, so you're
shouldn't be an issue.
Shame your partner and keep them in the closet?
It's like, oh, cool, two chicks, whatever. And yes, I think that that's great. If I'm with someone who says they're bisexual and they've been with other women, I'm like, cool, great, yeah. Cool, it's happened.
Yeah,
I understand that. And then if they're going to say, I've also been with men, then cool, great, yeah. Assuming that, and then we would have the conversation of I'm assuming you were protected and smart, hopefully with the women that you were with. And then you would also be that way with them. Why would you suddenly be you know what I mean? And I think that's, bisexual men is not something that is accepted in the same way that bisexual women are. It's cute. TikTok has the every other woman on TikTok is oh yeah, I'm bisexual. And I love bisexual TikTok because it's a great place to go and feel safe as a woman, but I don't think it's that way for men. And I'm obviously not I'm not a man, obvious or not. I identify as female. So I don't know that walk of life. Bisexual men, if you would love to share some of your thoughts, feelings, opinions, experiences in the comments below or privately via DM, we would love to hear it.
I can't imagine. Because also not I identify as a woman, I can't imagine trying to navigate and walk in that space and having to have those constant conversations or talk about that with a partner and then being faced with someone not being okay with it. It's Are you fucking kidding me?
Like, you know, we do all these other weird fucking nasty things
that's
together,
where you
but
draw
like,
the
yeah,
line?
that's where the line is
Like,
drawn.
what? Because and it's interesting. I have ran into a couple individuals. I actually was in a serious relationship with someone who was very disturbed at the idea, not the idea, the fact that I had been with someone who was bisexual at one point, like a
And been with
relationship
someone-
previous. Like,
You mean you had been with someone in a female aspect, or been with someone it was a male aspect?
yes. Okay. So
Just to be clear.
yes, I'm like trying to wrap my brain around this and say things properly, but I'm just gonna say it. So I was with someone, one of my early relationships before him, he was bisexual. Mm-hmm. And so we had that conversation, you know, going down the line of exes and stuff like that. And he was like wigged out by it. And then, dirty laundry. Fast forward later into our relationship, took a break, on again, off again, whatever, came out. I then slept with that, like my ex, and came back and told him, it was like, hey, I did this thing. And we weren't off at that point, so I cheated. And so, and was more disturbed by the fact that I had slept with someone who was bisexual at a moment in time. Like, and I don't know if my ex was still bisexual. Like when I was with him, we were in high school sweethearts, blah, blah, blah.
So like young shit.
Yeah, young shit. Got married, divorced. And granted, like I hadn't seen him in years. I don't fucking know his life. But one of the, like, saw each other, had a couple drinks, shit happened. And so came back, told, and was more upset that it was him and his way of life and his own health and safety.
Versus just the sheer fact that you cheated.
Yes. And I was like, bruh, okay.
Tell me you have, what is it, fragile masculinity?
Yeah, without telling me. And like safe, like was protected, then got tested, all of the things, and even paid for him to get tested. I was like, yo, I'm sorry. Yes, I fucked up. I will make it right. Here, like, here's my information, like, go get yourself tested, like, had the adult conversation. And now, like, I look back, I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm glad I'm not in that anymore, but at the same time, and have also talked to someone who's very threatened by the idea of bisexual men because of what it says about masculinity and how he felt. This is a whole other button, y'all, because it was a black man who said this. He was more like in the way that the character from P-Valley, if you haven't seen that show, fucking fantastic,
yes.
Uncle Clifford. He was very disturbed by that character in the show and was honest and said that his masculinity was threatened by that character and does not like how it is portraying black men in the media. And I'm like, but he's a human being. He is a person. He is someone that exists.
One character.
Yes, that exists within the bubble of black men, in the bubble of being a man, in the bubble of being bisexual, and how, like, what, and you're threatened? Like, don't look, don't watch, don't, like, is he hurting you? Like, are you
like how what about it is like
about?
Are you actually bisexual? Is that, and you're just afraid to admit it?
Is it something that you want to? That's interesting because feeling that anger and feeling threatened or triggered by it, because there is probably some curiosity there, and that makes him feel like, oh, like no,
because it's
push
shame.
it away. Yeah,
some type of shame. Maybe like I'm obviously not
right.
him and very much not black, so I do not understand that experience at all.
Right.
But like, I think that for a lot of things, when something comes up that like we might be ashamed of or like afraid that because of shame somehow, it's like, oh, we shit on it. Absolutely. Like, there are many characters, I think, in popular shows and movies specifically black male characters that have been put into that like box of like, this is how a black gay man is maybe, and it speaks for everyone who's a black gay man, and like it doesn't, like it literally doesn't, but because that is the only representation that we have.
No, but that's also, it's like, okay, like a little side note tangent as we do. That is what I loved about P-Valley. Because of Uncle Clifford's character and his love interest, like you see two different individuals, because everybody's different. You see two different representations of a gay black man.
And there's probably like we need 75 at the very least of representations of a gay black man.
Beautiful.
I mean, we loved the show.
Yes, check it out.
If you haven't, like, definitely you should watch it. But I think that character, I remember when we first watched it, we had both talked about like, wow, like we're so excited to see this portrayal because we have not seen that, and because we do know people in our own lives who are similar to this character. And that's like literally the point of like greater conversations that we have about representation, is that like, yes, it matters. The people that you see on screen likely stem from, there's a person like that out there. And we
have not seen. Like, and so that they feel seen, and that you know that there isn't one way to be a piece of who you are. Like, you don't have to put yourself or be put in a box. It just, anyway, yes.
Tangent.
Reeling it back in, y'all. In terms of, I have a hard time understanding, and I'm trying to find the empathy there for people who have a problem being with a bisexual man, because it's like, how is it? Like, what is different?
It's not different, but it is different because of still the weight of like kind of gender norms, and I think a lot of the comments were like, AIDS, like you've never heard of AIDS, and I mean like, it's like, yeah, we all fucking know that AIDS exists, but also like it's whatever fucking year we are. I mean, like, am I saying that there are not cases? Absolutely not. Am I trying to like say it's not a big deal? Absolutely not. What I'm saying is, for the most part, like everyone is pretty conscious of like, you don't just get AIDS from having fucking anal sex. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm not a scientist, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not trying to like advocate for anything except like,
it's the ignorance for me that like gets my blood boiling, my skin crawling. I'm just like, shush. But I'm like, Alyssa, no, breathe, talk about it, educate folks, start a conversation, I think push that button.
Some of the other comments were like, oh, now there's like a whole other gender for them to cheat on us with. And that to me was a little bit more of like, if somebody's gonna cheat, they could be asexual and cheat on you. I mean, that was kind of oxymoronic, but like they're gonna cheat. They're gonna cheat if you're interested in women. You're gonna cheat on the woman you're with a woman, most likely. If you're interested in men, you're going to cheat on the man you're with a man, most likely. If you're interested in both, like, then you're going to cheat on your current partner with anyone else if you're gonna cheat on them. Like that, I think that was one of the more frustrating for me too, because I was like, like this has nothing to do with cheating. It's literally like, that's a different window that you jump out of in this train that we're all moving along. And but I did grow up in a space that like, being a bisexual man, like, I didn't know any bisexual dudes who were out and open up until I think like adulthood, like after college.
I see.
So that's where I go back to like 10 years ago me would have probably been like, yeah, I don't know, like I don't think so. But like now I'm like, oh yeah, it's not about fucking, it's a lot more than just that. Like it's so much bigger than that. It's about human people and like the attraction that happens. Like it's sometimes chemical, it's sometimes, I don't know, the other things that like you're fucking, I don't know, like, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Magic, fairies, Cupid, whoever you subscribe to.
I know, that's an interesting point, Mom, because I grew up around bisexual men. and like dated bisexual men.
So
and,
you
like,
had
and
that privilege.
Yeah.
Not privilege. You had that like
that experience
luxury of
that,
being able to know more than many of us.
That's really interesting. More than anything, like, I mean, and this is normal for a fucking teenager. Like, more than anything, I would be jealous. Like, and I would just be like, oh.
That's like a safe thing, is to be like, yeah, I do feel a little jealous. Like, it's okay to be open and say that. And then it's your intention or your worry, fear, like whatever, like the emotion that you're evoking is just like, oh, that's it. That's, I would maybe be jealous then.
And the individual from the previous story, same individual, like when he and I dated, like, and it's something even like earlier in our relationship, like talking about his past partners, I was like, I'm a little bit jealous and worried about these individuals, and it ranged. It was like, I'm worried about this chick, I'm worried about that guy, or like, you're still friends with him, like, and so
the normal aspects of like being in a relationship with someone, and you're like, well, I don't know, like, we're not there yet, so like, if this is new, like, yeah, how do I know you're not gonna, I mean,
like, you still have these people in your life, but we talked about it, but it wasn't also weird for me. It's like, oh no, I get it. Like, I have been around those people. I'm like, yo, he's fucking fly. She's dope. Like, I get it. Like, she's hot. He looks like, I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I also knew who they were as people. Like, not just, oh, you're a boy, you're a girl.
It's a body,
you're like, exactly.
That's
it's
like
no,
a girl body or a boy body.
You're a person, and they are a person, and I understand being attracted to whatever it is about them, and just within me being like, oh, like, you still like me, right? Like, that's why you're with me, right?
Right? Like, it's still me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that is probably the best response, is like, cool, but like, yeah, and it was so frustrating to read that, and I was like, if I was a bisexual man and I came across this, no, I would absolutely not be like, yeah, cool, probably, just because I'm like, well, I would like to. I don't want that. Like, I don't want people to act that way towards me. Like,
facts. Oh, so y'all, let us know, like, because, and for, like, seriously, please, because I have a hard time wrapping my brain around it. I would love to hear someone else's perspective on why that'd be a no-go for you.
This is a safe space, so if you prefer to like DM, we're not trying to instigate or make anyone uncomfortable or any of that. So if it's you have thoughts, feelings, opinions, and you don't feel comfortable making them public, send us a DM. You can send us an email.
I think it's in there somewhere. Don't text me. That's been happening. Anyway, side note, that's a different.
Oh yeah, no texting.
Don't do that. I don't know how y'all found my phone number, but don't do that. Don't appreciate it.
Like, comment, subscribe.
That thing. And we'll catch y'all next time. Bye.